I wanted to title this video, Reasons Why I Shut Down a 7-figure coaching company and started a tech company instead. Now, I don't want to trigger anyone here, and I'm just going to be as honest as I can of what I think is what you should be focusing on and my analysis of it. So, reason number one, and this comes down to, this is probably the most important reason, and this is opportunity cost, right? I honestly believe that if you're that good at something, you should do it for yourself instead of just teaching it. So for those of you who don't know, I ran a consulting company, coaching company called the PDocs Method. Now, we brought this to about 7 figures. I think it was doing close to $2-3 million a year. And before we even thought about teaching it to anybody, we did it ourselves. We did about $100 million in revenue using it, right? Using the actual method. If you want to know more about PDocs, I will talk about it a little bit on this channel, but I'll post a link to maybe some resources you want to check out below. But yeah, so we had this business and it was doing really well. We had about 2,500 businesses go through it. It was a 7-figure coaching company by every means of the word. And I hated it. I wasn't, it didn't really align with what I wanted to do. And this is really a breakdown of why I shut it down. I think so many people, would be like, why did you close down a profitable, 7-figure coaching company to pursue what you're pursuing now? And the first thing I'll say, and the first reason would be number one, opportunity cost, right? And this is the biggest reason. I personally believe that if you're good at something and you believe in it, you can make more money using it than teaching it, right? I think that it's like those that usually teach things are like, have tapped out of what they can do for themselves and they want to teach others. Unless they're doing it from the kindness of their heart, which I don't think a lot of people are, but that's up to debate. So for me, my thoughts was like, I wanted to build something big. I wanted to have a company that I could eventually sell for about 100 million. And honestly, it got to the point, I think I was about 250 knowledge gap sessions in. If you don't know about a knowledge gap, it's essentially something we created to flesh out an offer. And I was about 250 knowledge gap sessions in. And I just realized, like, why aren't we doing this for ourselves? Why aren't we doing this for my own brand? You know what I mean? So that's what I did. I put my money where my mouth is, and I shut down my coaching company. I stopped teaching it to people. And I said, I'm just going to use my own IP for my own business. And that really brings us to here. So that's really the first reason, is opportunity costs. I believe that, I believe in the stuff we're doing. I know our methods work. So, I know I could make more money and more leverage using it for my own brand than I could ever in terms of teaching people. And that's just what it comes down to. Now, you can still learn it. People still, I still teach it to people. Really, I just give most of it away for free. We have a thing called PDocs Fundamentals, and that just has everything. It's an entire vault and it's got everything in it. But that's really one of the biggest and most important reasons of why I shut down this coaching company, is because I knew that putting an hour into, say, a coaching company versus what I'm doing now is just night and day, right? And the industry that I'm in now, tech, essentially the company, we're going for about a 9-figure exit, and you can't do that in any other industry. I know coaches that are doing let's say they're doing $10 million a year, right? But there's no multiplier there. So a coaching company, if it does $10 million a year, I only ever do $10 million a year. Whereas as I scale my SaaS to $10 million a year, I'll be able to sell that for about a 15 to 20x multiple. So basically everything that I'm doing now has 15 to 20 times more impact than what I was doing before. Okay, number two, right? I think that really in terms of coaching and running a coaching company, I'm talking like you have like group coaching and you do the whole thing, like high ticket coaching. I think that it is actually a very unsustainable model. And here's why. When you have a coaching company, let's say you have like a 90-day program, right? And you're helping people get results quickly as possible. That relies on you getting them quick wins, because when they come in, people are so wired to come into a program, they need to have quick wins right away. Now, what's crazy about this is, in order to get quick wins, what a lot of people do in their program is they focus on tactics, right? So tactics, like as in, scripts, frameworks, SOPs, things that are just really turnkey and easy to see results. Now, this is awesome, but tactics are very surface level. They only work on certain verticals, they only work with certain things. Right? So what happens is a lot of people come into these programs and they suck out all the tactics, and they find that the tactics don't actually work on other verticals, right? And this is why you see one of three things happen. The first thing is somebody will come into a coaching program and you show them the tactics and they try apply it to, a vertical that's not coaching, consulting, right? And they find that it doesn't work. And they're like, oh, this sucks, I'm out, whatever, give me a refund. The second type is you have somebody that comes in and they try to apply it to their vertical, right? And they realize that it doesn't work on this vertical because it's a tactic. They don't know the fundamentals of it. So what they do instead is they're like, all right, well, I'm just gonna do exactly what my coach was telling me to do. And they start selling consulting to consultants, right? That's why you have, if you look at somebody in somebody's programs absolutely crushing it, you say, hey, here's my student who's on XYZ. If you look at their profile, you're most likely gonna see that they did the exact same thing as the coach, right? And I saw that's what people were doing inside of our program, and I wasn't really enjoying it that much. Now, the third thing, and this is really rare, and this is the whole reason why I got into this, is they'll take the tactic, but they'll start applying their own IP to it, and they'll innovate and they'll make it work, right? They'll realize, hey, this one tactic is not enough, but they'll understand that this tactic is a gateway to understand the fundamentals to do that, right? Now, that's my view on it, and you don't have to agree, you can disagree, whatever, but that's why I shut it down, is really what was happening was people were taking the IP that we built, but very few were actually innovating on top of it, and it ended up being a company where people were it was coaches, coaching coaches, coaching coaches, coaching coaches. And it was like, that's not why I set out to build that. So that's reason number two. Honestly, my thing is I want to put out new things and I want to encourage people to put out new ideas. And I feel like in this particular industry, let's say like the coaching internet marketing world, it is definitely something where people are just looking for quick wins. So not many people are learning the true fundamentals. So what we did with PDocs, which is our company, is we packaged everything, all the fundamentals together, and we put them into one program, which is I think it's $50 a week or something, right? Now, I call it fundamentals because its focus is on the fundamentals, because once you learn the fundamentals, which are the unsexy thing that nobody wants, then you can focus on the tactics. And what's cool about that is every tactic works once you have the fundamentals down. Webinars work, group funnels work, booking funnels work, whatever, right? If you understand the fundamentals, all the tactics, you choose whatever tactic you want. Pick a playbook and run with it. So that's the second reason. The second reason why I shut it down is because I don't really like where the coaching model is going, and I wanted to, put out something new. I want people to start, using our IP to come with their own ideas, and I think that it was setting up an environment where people were looking for quick wins, and most people were just taking our stuff and reusing it. So that's the second reason. Now, reason number three, and this is more of a recognizing my own faults, and I've got a lot of them. Reason number three is the emotional aspect, right? People may disagree. In reality, most coaching programs is about maybe 20% actionable frameworks and SOPs and whatnot, and 80% of it is accountability. It's mindset. And honestly, I think in my own opinion and my analysis of myself, that emotional connection and being able to counsel somebody and be there is not my strong point. I love solving problems, but when it comes down to, getting into the thing where, you're someone's counselor and, you're their coach, so to speak, and you're there and you need to constantly be there to help them emotionally, that's just not my strong point. My strong point is building frameworks, and it's building things. If I could just not talk to anybody and just sit in a room all day and build, that's what I want to do. And that's why I realized that, hey, we should start a tech company. Okay, so this is the fourth one, and it's kind of similar to the first, but what it comes down to is leverage, right? And what I mean by this is, if I want to do a $100 million, $200 million, $300 million exit, I need something with high multiples. And the industry that I'm in now, the company that we're building now, AdsLab, if you haven't heard of it, a data company, we're going for, I think, maybe a 15 to 20x multiple, possibly IPO in the later years, right? You can't do that with any other industry. I couldn't do that with coaching. I couldn't do that with an agency. Now, it's way harder to start. It's cost me millions of dollars to be able to build this thing. And, because of that, it's I think in the coaching world and the agency world, if you do 100K a month, you're like a king. Whereas in SaaS, it's that's not enough. You've got to do $1 million a month or so. So really, I think like that's what it comes down to, is it's about leverage. It's like I have so many hours in the day, and if I want to do something big, I need to have some kind of multiplier that I know is going to be behind it. So it was about leverage. So that's 4 reasons why I closed down our 7-figure coaching company to focus on building a SaaS. Some things I said might, be too honest. I really want to start posting more stuff about like the journey and what's going on with AdsLab, but that's really what's going on. That's the 4 reasons why I decided to take something that, most people would be like, see that as goals and hey, that's a 7-figure coaching company and everybody loves the word 7 figures. But to me, I honestly believe that it wasn't where I wanted to be. And those are the 4 reasons. So thanks for watching the video. I don't usually do stuff like this. I more do like stuff where it's over the shoulder, showing some SOPs and things like that. I have a sick video coming out next week about a new audience builder, but this is me sharing that journey. So appreciate it, guys.